Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good. Looks good. This is the goal. Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire, as we resume with Week 2 of our 7th annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Along with Dan Murphy, I'm Doug Brown. Hope you had a chance to be with us yesterday on our Saturday program as we re-aired not only one of our best shows from this past season, but one of the best shows ever between Paul Berger and Glenn Shattuck.
That's right, and I watched it the second time, and it was just as exciting watching the second time as it was the first. Great match.
All right, of course, Paul Berger, with that win, moved into the Tournament of Champions, and he'll be with us as our #1 seed a few weeks from now. But right now, let's deal with the two guys who are going to be with us today. First of all, our #6 seed from Manchester, New Hampshire, John Plante.
Okay, and John comes in averaging 117, has a high single of 184, and his qualifying score was 344.
And last week, John was well above his average as he rolled a 392 to knock off Jack Quinn in Week 1 of this Tournament of Champions. So John goes for his second win in a row today, and he will face our #4 seed from Revere, Massachusetts, Tom Morgan.
Okay, and Tom comes in averaging 128, high single of 192, his qualifying score 397.
All right, and of course, Tom, the #4 seed, by virtue of the fact that he had the high single in his championship match, higher than Jack Quinn's high single. So Tom breaks the tie with that high single of 150 and moved into the #4 spot. So it's #6 against #4 this week. Of course, we have bonus money on the line as well. We'll tell you about that a little bit later on. In fact, we'll get this match started between John Plante and Tom Morgan right after these messages. Don't go away. Once again, these are the 6 bowlers that qualified for this year's Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Last week, in case you missed it, John Plante knocked off Jack Quinn, and today it'll be John's second match as he faces Tom Morgan, the winner of this one, of course, to roll up against Gary Carrington, our #3 seed next week, and on up the ladder we go until we crown our season's champion 3 weeks from today. John Plante with that 392 a week ago, and he will start the match again today. Last week, he started with 2 quick spares, and he led the match from wire to wire, never trailed.
Well, he won't start with 2 marks this week. Missing the head pin on the 4 horsemen. Try to get this for a 10, and it's going to be a 10. And he had the right idea last week when he mentioned at the end of the show he wanted to start quick, and he understands. Let's face it, if there's a dark horse in the field, it has to be John Plante. Hasn't got the reputation some of these other bowlers have, but he certainly opened some eyes last week with 392 against a pretty good bowler in Jack Quinn. Pair of 10s this week. First look at Tom Morgan, who brings a host of people with him that root him on.
Tom will have a spare leave to start. Tom qualified back in January. Only had to win 1 match. He threw a 397. Knocked off Bob Kelly, and there's the spare. Right through the center.
Spread eagle, 4 on the fill. Elects to go on the 3-6 side of the spread eagle. Just takes out just the 6-pin. And now just a 2-pin.
Oh, we're all even. 20 apiece. John Plante qualified for the Tournament of Champions back in November. And he won 2 matches to get here.
Watch out, that 2-pin falls forward. He may have a strike.
John beat Dave Richards and then Paul Berger to get to the Tournament of Champions, and he gets the spare. Incidentally, both of those wins that John came up with back in November were very close. He beat Dave Richards by 9, and then he beat Paul Berger by 3. Last week he had a little bit more of a cushion coming down the stretch.
Oh, he kicks out the 3-pin. 8-pin drop on the spare, leaves himself the 4 and 7, and piece of wood out in front. Wood's a little bit far right, so you have to drive the ball through for the 7-pin. He comes up high, takes all the wood, 2 in a row, sets himself up for bonus money.
Tom Morgan. Well, not exactly what you'd call a spare leave. The 2, 5, 8, and 10. Did you give the wood a ride on this, maybe?
Well, you may. I probably want to go on the 2-pin. Outside, he's trying to clip it on the left-hand side. That's what you call a 9-box leave. Well, make it 8.
Don't forget, it's an exciting time here on the Winds of New England for Candlepin Bowling. We've got our Tournament of Champions going here on Sundays for the next several weeks. And starting this coming Saturday, May the 6th at 12 noon, we will begin our coverage of the 1995 New Hampshire State Championships. This coming Saturday, May the 6th at 12 noon, we will have the women's semifinal match. $9 for Tom. So again, John Plante will have the quick start and the quick lead here. Working on a bonus money possibility, and let's wait. There it is for $25.
I was going to say, how can that possibly stand up? Rock back and forth, and finally that 5-pin toppled over for the strike. Oh, we got a big break, and watch out.
Oh, wow. Missed the head pin. That's all that remains.
The ball is alive right now. Already earned himself bonus money with that strike. This is for 4 in a row and continuing the bonus streak. Another spare on strike. And John has arrived the first game.
That's $50 in bonus money already for John. Of course, the bonus money provided by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan, Route 97, Salem, New Hampshire. Come to Salem and save. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan.
Tom gets a break off the head pin, leaves the 1 and the 10. And John Plante open up with a pair of 10s, but then it's all marks and not a pin left standing so far through 6 frames.
Oh, nice spare for Tom.
Catches the head pin, ball hits the wood, takes the 10.
5 on the spare. Tom from Revere, Massachusetts. Lives in Revere now, has that Lynn connection, of course, which is part of the reason why there are so many people here with him. It always happens when a bowler from Lynn is on. And there's 2 fine spares for Tom Morgan.
Yeah, 4 horsemen plus the 9-pin. Piece of wood behind the 4 horsemen does the damage on the 9. John Plante. 1, 7, and 9.
John continues to carry the extra pin, though. Had a couple extra there. Now he's going for $25 more in bonus money. And this time...
Oh, he got it! Back door! Emmett, get your wallet out on that one. Oh, my! He stole it. Look at this. Oh, where'd that wood come from? John will take it.
5 in a row. Looking for more. This time he does not take the extra pin, just 5. 4 horsemen, plus the 8. It remains to be seen if that wood will help or not.
Let's wait.
The streak ends at 5, so $75 in bonus money in that stretch for John Plante. And the 9 box.
And 119 through 8.
Well, his best game, John's best game a week ago was 135. He'll probably top that here in game 1. Tom Morgan with an opportunity for bonus money now, working on his second spare in a row, and he kicks out a loud 9 drop.
He's worried about the 7 pin. It looked like the 6-7 left, but 7 finally goes and leaves himself the 6. And let's see where the wood settles down. Shouldn't be a problem.
And the spare, $25 in bonus money for Tom Morgan as he answers right back.
He's just trying to weather the storm put up by John Plante with 5 marks in a row. Tom Morgan trying for 4. Catches the head pin. Let's see what damage it does. 7, 9, 10. Four pieces of wood left on the plate.
And another one in the channel.
And he's going to take a real good look on that. He's looking left, I believe. The wood, 3 pieces of wood in front of the 7. One of them is angled toward the 9 and the 10.
Let's see. Nope. It's an 8. So the lead is 23 right now for John Plante. Each bowler on the board with bonus money already. Oh, Dan, it looked like John didn't have quite as much on that first ball as he had been prior to that. Takes the 9.
28 through 9. Again, a fine opening game for John Plante, regardless of what he does in the 10th. Of course, he'd love to put another mark up, getting in the 140s.
He's in the pocket, but oh, the diamond plus the 10 pin. It's a 9, third consecutive 9 to finish the game, and a 137 for John Plante. With all the marks clustered together in the middle. 5 in a row. Tom Morgan has 4 marks to this point. Oh.
Oh, there it goes. That's gone. Oh.
No, or maybe not.
Guess not. Looked like he had plenty of speed.
And there's a spare in the 9th. If Tom were to get a big fill and another mark here, he could come very close to evening this match.
That ties up the mark production between the 2 bowlers. Of course, John has a strike and consecutive marks, which helps. And Tom had a disappointing 4 in that first spare in the first box, followed by 6 box.
Well, a 1, 3, and 10.
I don't like that wood next to the 2 pin.
Oh, he's got it.
I like it now. 123 in a ball.
So an opportunity for bonus money here with a strike. And a strike also would draw him within 4 pins. Let's see. Nope, missed the head pin. The fill will be 6. 129, but still a fine comeback from Tom Morgan after John Plante put up big numbers in the middle portion of that first game. 137 for John Plante, 129 for Tom Morgan. Back with game 2 in a minute. Well, by my count, we have had 3 winners in the last 4 weeks in our bonus ball contest, so we are back down to $20 again today, but of course that means that we could also end up giving away a couple more sets of brand new bowling balls from Paramount Industries in Medway, Massachusetts. And you can only win if we have your postcards in. Regular size postcards only, please. And be sure and include your name, your full address, including zip code, and the number from 1 to 10. The number, of course, is the number of pins you think will drop on the bonus ball at the end of each show. Our winning bowler does the honors every week. Mail those cards in to Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. Hopefully you'll have as good luck as some other people have had recently.
And starting off the second game, Tom Morgan on lane 32.
Brooklyn hit. Possibilities here on the 5, 6, and 10.
Wants that wood to stay out in front. It's moving back. Maybe a shade too deep now, but you can see Tommy wants it out. He's got room, I think.
He has studied it, and not quite on the 10 pin.
Great try. Got to catch just a little more of the wood, but
Tom and his wife Linda have 2 children, 12-year-old Jamie and 10-year-old Kelly. Much of Tom's family is here. Might in the background from time to time hear the unmistakable voice of Tom's brother Mike as we get another look at that spare attempt. Tom and his wife are the operators of Active Play Management Group, program for kids. Another tough lead for Tom, so he'll go open in the first 2. Mike Morgan, by the way, Tom's brother, a former Tournament of Champions titleist, as he won it all back in 1992 as the number 4 seed. We had back-to-back number 4 seeds win the Tournament of Champions. Pat Pay in 1991 and then Mike Morgan in 1992. Number 4 seed this year is Tom Morgan. John Plante trying to add to his lead here.
7-10 for John. He wants to probably play this right where the 2 pieces of wood come together. Oh, not quite enough.
Wow, good effort. And the 10.
Four horsemen plus the 8-pin left for John.
And once again, the 10-pin spoils it.
If people at home could name the 6 previous Tournament of Champion winners.
Well, the thing that I think is impressive is that we've had 6 different winners.
Yes.
6 years. No one has won it twice.
See, now, if you didn't say that, somebody probably would have said Paul Berger a couple times.
And, of course, the only guy who has a chance to win it twice this year is Paul Berger. So he'll go for his 2nd win 3 weeks from today.
So you're probably wanting to know, right? Got them all written down? Let's save it until the beginning of the 3rd game. Give him a chance to write them down.
All right.
From 89 to 94, Tournament Champion winners.
Should mention also that...
you and I aren't in there?
Oh, I think that goes without saying, but what I was going to say was... Oh, big first ball that time for Tom Morgan. John Plante making his first appearance ever in the Tournament of Champions after his win last week. And Tom Morgan is actually in the tournament for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, as he was in 92 and again in 93. Did not win a match either time, so he's looking for his first win.
Well, everybody's scratching Tom Morgan off at home. Time wasn't up yet. Ethel was saying to Fred, I still had time. I must change my mind.
John Plante for the spare in the 3rd.
Avoids the piece of wood out front for the 6-10. Gives him a mark in the 3rd.
and right through the center for the spread eagle.
Threw his hands up. He kind of knew he was going to be full, but he was hoping maybe might get some kind of break. But spread eagle. Clears out the left side.
And a 9-box, and that will take us to a break almost at the halfway point. John Plante in the lead, looking for his second win in a row in the Tournament of Champions. All right, Tom Morgan is working on a spare as we come back. Tom with 7 marks to this point, all of them spares. John Plante has 6 marks, 5 spares and 1 strike. You see the damage that Tom has done here on singles competition, and there is strike on spare.
There was a carbon copy of the box before on lane 31 where he dropped 9 in a hurry and left the 4-pin. This time he trips the 4-pin for the strike on spare.
There's only a handful of bowlers that have won as many as 10 matches here in singles competition, and Tom is one of them. Won his 10th match to qualify for the Tournament of Champions, of course, back in January when he beat Bob Kelly. Oh, look out, double strike. That's $25 in bonus money and a double strike for Tom Morgan.
He crossed over in the 1-2 pocket this time, and 5 and 9 pins were the last to go for the double strike. 5, 6, and 10 for John, similar to what Tom had early. Wants that wood to stay out in front. He also has one next to the 5-pin, which he might sweep across, but I'd still go low on the wood, have the ball carry him off into the 5. Oh, he's going all the way over.
Nope.
I think he had more chance or more room for error on that front one. Well, you know it's going to go now. I mean, it's just...
Right.
No, not if you go by the wood. Just 8.
It's interesting to watch the different bowlers and their rituals when they come back to the bench. And some bowlers... Oh, how about this? A little mix for John Plante, and he gets a strike in the 6th. Well, it looked for a moment like he might have the 8-9, but it turns into a strike. Some bowlers, every once in a while, we'll have a bowler on the show who does not watch the other bowler when he's up. And... this time, well, let's watch Tom Morgan on the double strike. $250 4 marks in a row for Tom Morgan.
There's no doubt about this one either. It's just a matter of time. And he is in the zone right now.
And for the first time in 2 weeks, John Plante is now trailing in a match.
It was a big swing right there.
Tom Morgan.
First time?
First time that's happened.
First time here in 10 years, over 10 years. Oh, that was almost a double by John Plante.
Actually, when you asked first time, I thought you meant first time this year. I'm not sure that's the first time ever.
I can't remember a 4. That's just 9 on the strike. Just would cause him to miss that 9-pin.
I know we've had several triples over the years, but I'm not sure if we've ever had 4 in a row or not. 10 box for John Plante, who all of a sudden is staring a big mountain in the face.
Yeah, it's a 41-pin advantage, but Tom is not done yet. He's still got a double strike working. Oh, there's another one. That close to a triple himself. Wow. 1 pin cost him 3.
Well, let's add this up now. Tom Morgan has $525 in bonus money in this stretch, and if he throws another strike here, he'll get another $250. Off target that time.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Oh, it's rocking.
Wow.
Almost tipped that 3-pin into the head pin. In fact, he did. It was rocking. There's another spare.
That's 25 more. He's at 1 58 through 8 with a spare up in the 9th.
This guy was 29 after 3 boxes. Now he's 168 after 9. Wants that 5-pin out of there, and if it does, it might take a few more. 8 drop, 4 and 7. And you can see that piece of wood in the back. You want that out of there.
Another spare. 186 plus a ball. This is just remarkable stuff. Tom Morgan. Oh! He'll have to settle for a 5, Phil. A 191. And he gets a high 5 from John Plante. And a huge and well-deserved round of applause from this crowd. There was no way Tom could have known, but had he thrown a strike on that last ball, he would have had a 196, which would have tied the all-time high single here on Stars and Strikes, but Tom has just thrown the 2nd high single ever. 191, and that's fair on strike for John Plante.
Meanwhile, John Plante is 110 through 9. Not a bad game. Unfortunately, your partner was 176 at the same point. Look at this! Strike on spare.
130 plus 2 balls to come here in the 10th.
That scoreboard, if you go back to the 7th box of John Plante, that could have just easily been a strike there. He would have had a triple and 5 marks in a row as well.
Oh, look at this!
A double!
He's got it!
Yes!
Double strike! That's $25 more for John Plante. We're going to have to put a computer to the bonus money here in Game 2. We'll add it all up and tell you about it when we come back after the break. But all you need to know right now is this is a $250 ball for John Plante.
That's another one right in there.
Oh, my. It's an 8. That will be a 148 for John Plante, a 2-game total of 285, and he's trailing by 35 pins. Tom Morgan with a 191 at 3:20 after 2. What a match. We'll be back with more here on Stars and Strikes. Well,
I'm out of breath.
we have toweled off here in Park Place Lanes.
We put the fire out on the pins. They were smoking.
Game 3. John Plante trailing by 35. John has thrown 5 games now in the last 2 weeks here in the tournament, and each one has been better than the one before. 128, 129, 135 last week, and this week now 137 and 148. That's the good news. The bad news is that he trails by 35 pins.
Yeah, with a 285 total. That's incredible. That's going to go. Nothing's sacred today. Everything's going over. Just come close to them, they're going down.
By the way, the bonus money situation in that second game, John Plante got $50 for the 4 marks in a row right at the end. So John has a total of $125 in bonus money to this point. Tom Morgan with those 7 consecutive marks, including the 4 consecutive strikes, picked up $575 in bonus money in that stretch. He now has $600 in bonus money this week, and there is a spare for John Plante.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to give you the tournament champion winners, but please excuse me if I have to be interrupted by a strike or a spare. Okay, going way back to 1989, the runner-up was Pat Pay. 358, 353. Our winner of our first tournament champions in '89, Bob Moran. 1990, runner-up was Al Cloutier to Paul Berger. Paul Berger was a 1990 winner, 391, 361. A pen for Tom Morgan. In '91, Joe Ashline was the runner-up, and Pat Pay came back, and he was a 91 winner against Joe Ashline, 388, 317. In '92,
spread eagle for Tom.
the fellow you're watching now, his brother, Mike Morgan, was a 92 winner over Paul Berger, 384, 347. In 93, a guy named Peter Flynn won the title against Paul Berger, 410, 379. And then last year, Joe Ashline over Dan Broder, 411 to 370. So there you have it.
6 different winners in the 6 years of the tournament, and unless Paul Berger wins it this year, we could have our 7th winner, 7th different winner. So 2 opens for Tom Morgan, the 10 and the 7. John Plante working on a spare. He'll take 6.
Leaves himself to 1, 4, 7, and 8. Piece of wood be next to the head pin and one in front of the 4 and 7. He's got to have the head pin.
Oh, he's got it.
2 in a row. It's flush on the head pin this time. Wood goes down, takes the 4-7. Ball continues through for the 9 pin. Who's off target? Let's see. Not a bad break. Not a bad break at all.
Chance for bonus money here for John Plante. Emmett Horgan has got the checkbook smoking. You talk about smoking. Emmett Horgan and our friends at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan providing the bonus money for the bowlers, and this is a record day in that department. And there is more. $25 more for John Plante with 3 marks in a row as he tries to make a comeback here.
And he refuses to roll over and play dead here. He's got 3 in a row. He's cut the lead to 26. He's still got 2 marks showing. Tom Morgan.
4 horsemen.
This is what happens sometimes when you throw a big game like that, 191. You kind of let down a little bit. You got to stay after those pins. You never know.
It's like shooting a 63 or 64 in golf. You know, the next day is going to be very tough. You know that.
Oh, yeah. And then I play the back 9.
Another 10 for Tom. I've always heard that said that on the Pro Tour, when you shoot a 63, 64 real low round, that the next round is always very difficult. I never personally had that experience myself, but
Tom missing the head pin to the right, leaves the 4 horsemen plus the 6-10, and he's going through the hole. So hang on, folks. This is a long ways from over.
Tell you what, when we come back from this timeout, John Plante is going to be working on a mark. Fine 10 there for Tom Morgan. You may want to put a star next to that one. That 10 box right there could be important before this thing is over. John Plante will be working on that mark to cut further into the lead when we return on Stars and Strikes. Well, here we go. The last 6 boxes of this one. Strap yourselves in.
This is only week number 2 in Tournament of Champions.
John has 3 marks in a row. He fills the spare with 8, and there are possibilities here with all this wood.
Absolutely.
More importantly, Dan, he has cut the lead down to 10 in the match.
Got a shot at it.
Yes!
Shot. Another one.
$25 more. Started to tell a story in the last game before Tom Morgan started throwing all those strikes about the different bowlers and their rituals when they're back here on the bench. John drops 9. He's got a chance at another. Talked about, some bowlers don't watch their opponent at all. Tom Morgan has been changing his seat every box to make sure he can watch what John Plante is doing. He has a different position for each box. There's another $25 for John Plante. 5 marks in a row. And Tom Morgan, who threw a 4-bagger in the second game, finds himself now needing to mark here in order to preserve his lead.
I don't know about anyone else, but if someone told me I was going to come on in front of the cameras and someone was going to throw a 191 against me in a 3-game match and have me survive and win the match, I would think they're crazy. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
I'll tell you what, the open box here is going to make this thing just about dead even. A 9 box for Tom Morgan, and it is exactly dead even right now.
Unbelievable.
With 5 boxes to go, and John Plante has a spare up.
After 10+ years, you'd think you've seen everything in a match, and boy, I'll tell you, something happens, surprises everyone. And actually the 3 and 7 pins. Well, the wood's not frozen. wood's not frozen, you got to go after that 3-pin and have it come off the wall.
Oh, great effort. Tom is still looking for his first mark in this third game. And John Plante is going to take the lead. So $10 for Tom Morgan. Whatever John puts on this spare fill will be his lead. Here's the near miss by Tom.
Now, you see the angle of the wood, and that's exactly where the 3-pin went. You needed that wood to be tipped toward the 7-pin a little more. Now, back to the task at hand for John Plante. Right back in the pocket.
Look out! He takes the lead by 9.
And he's got a chance for more bonus money.
He's got it 6 in a row.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Over to lane 31. He bounced that one a little bit, but he got away with it. A 6 fill. This, of course, a bit tougher leave.
Yeah, but every one you put up, your opponent has to put 2 up if you're ahead of him, and that's exactly what's happening. Oh, just sliding by the 3-pin.
So that stretch ends with 6 in a row. That's an extra $100 in bonus money. John is up to $225. A $10 in the 8th, and here we go.
And he's over 400 already.
Yep. Here we go. Tom Morgan trails by 9, and he's opposite a spare. Oh, big first ball there. That piece of wood that's coming out front will have to be checked, and that could be close.
He's going to play the second piece. It makes it more difficult because you want to avoid that one.
Well, that looks like it might be in play. Well, maybe not. Cindy System's going down to take a close look at it, and it is out of play. So that'll be removed, and Tom will have a clear shot at the 5 and the 9. He's looking for his first mark here in the third game.
That pin is out. You have to be careful. I don't think this is as easy as it looks with that 8-pin. It might slide right by that. Oh, he's going to go by the one. He's now see. Everyone says he missed that one. I think he was avoiding the wood because I think he knows what's going to happen. We'll never know, but that's what he was trying to do. He knew if he hit the wood, it would have missed the 8-pin, a 9-pin.
You see, Tom now trails by 15 and really needs a mark here in the 8th. Set himself up for the final 2. And not the first ball he wanted.
What an incredible turn of events.
This is really something.
Well, I'll tell you, if I was John Plante, I'd want another mark up there. At least one of these last 2, because I can't believe Tom will go 10 boxes without a mark.
Well, the lead is 16 going to the final 2. John Plante has come from 35 pins down here in game 3 to take a 16-pin lead, and there are 2 boxes to go.
Oh, he's full.
And almost got a strike.
Kicked out the 10-pin. Well, you don't want to be any far right than the red line on this pin. You want to just make believe it's not there and shoot at the pin. Oh my.
No. Oh, no.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Wow. John will settle for the 10. Now, the question is, will that end up costing him? Oh, boy. Well, of course, the thing John has to do now is forget about it.
You gotta. You know, I play games myself figuring, now this is going to be 8 or 9 because it's going to make me feel real bad about missing it. See, there it happens.
Oh, the strike. Well, he bounced right back. Give him credit for that.
Well, he bounced right back, but he wanted that single pin to go down. He didn't want to have to shoot at that 3-pin, I'm sure. It's always easier with the strike.
Well, if he gets any kind of a fill at all on this strike, he's going to put Tom Morgan in a double strike situation. That will be enough. He has one more ball, of course. Tom Morgan will need a double strike to win this match. Eight is the fill, 154. He continues his upward trend. 439 for John Plante.
Well, Tom needs a strike.
He can still win it if he marks here in the 9th, but he must mark. That's it. John Plante has won it.
surviving a 191 game and a 35-pin deficit going to one game. That's an incredible story in itself. Look at that.
Tom Morgan is already over 400. But it will not be enough. And as we discussed, the unlikeliest of possibilities, Tom goes through an entire game without a mark. That incredible in and of itself, but especially when you consider he had 7 marks in a row, including a 4-bagger of strikes in the second game. What a remarkable match here on Stars and Strikes. John Plante makes it 2 in a row here in the Tournament of Champions. We'll be back to talk to both of these bowlers and set you up for next weekend in a minute. Well, part of the beauty of this show here is that we never know what's going to happen from week to week, and today was a perfect example of that. Not a bad weekend, actually, here on the Winds of New England. Yesterday, we re-aired that Paul Berger, Glenn Shattuck show from back on Christmas Day, and then today this. It's been something.
Well, I think both of those bowlers must have watched that match yesterday, see how they did, and they came here and did it the same thing today. It was just an incredible match. You know, you got to hand it to Tom for throwing a 191, but you got to hand it to John Plante. He just didn't crack. He just kept coming back, and he was able to pull it out. Well,
I got to give you credit, too, because you mentioned right at the beginning of that third game that sometimes it's very difficult to come back and throw another good game or another even average game after you have that huge one like Tom had in the middle.
It's almost like when you get a big game like that, you want to mark immediately. Within the next couple boxes, seems to loosen you up again. And then all of a sudden you throw a big game and you got a big lead and somebody makes a run at you. For some reason, those pins know that, and they start to fall hard on you. And that's what happened to Tom.
All right. Big round of applause for our runner-up today, please. Tom Morgan. Tom, congratulations. Boy, I don't know what to tell you exactly at this point. I mean, you throw a 191. That's the second highest game we've ever had thrown here. And then in the third game, you couldn't seem to buy a break. The good news, though, is you get $200 for your place in the tournament and $600 in bonus money included for that 7-mark stretch in the second game. So $800 total for a consolation prize, but what a terrific match.
Yeah, it was a great match. John threw the ball great. The second string, he could have 4 strikes in a row, too. The third string, I couldn't get anything going. I was babying the ball a little bit. I got a little lazy, and he kept the pressure on. I started forcing the ball. I got no action. He threw the ball great. He deserves to win. I deserve to go home where I'm headed.
Still, though, talk about the feeling, though, a little bit at that second game when especially when you had the 4 strikes in a row. I mean, it seemed like everything you threw down there was going to go.
That's what happens with this game. When you have a string like that, I could throw the ball anywhere that time. I was going to get 8 or 9. Then the next string comes up, you throw the ball anywhere, and they get 5 or 6.
Right.
So that's why we keep coming back, you know. Because you never know what to expect. We don't know what to expect either.
Well, we hope to see you back again real soon. Thanks very much, Tom. Terrific match. Thank you.
Great show. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Tom Morgan, a 414, but not good enough today. John Plante now for the bonus ball on lane 31. We're going to try for our second win in a row. We're back to $20 this week, and of course, a couple of sets of brand new bowling balls on the line as well. John won himself a new set last week. Oh, and he's thrown another 7. Let's dig around and see if you can find another 7 in there, Dan. Not this time. Not a match for Edward Robinson from Everett, Massachusetts. Edward's guess was 5, so we'll add $10 to the jackpot. Edward will receive a consolation prize. And how about another round of applause for John Plante? Step right in here, John. 434 and or 439, I should say, and well, you had him all the way, basically, right?
No, he threw that big game against me. You figure you're all done there. But I was throwing a good ball. I just kept throwing it and see what happened, and nothing happened for him in the last string. So he was fortunate there.
Well, yeah, I think it's almost a situation where, yeah, the other guy throws a big game, but you knew you were throwing pretty well, too, so you just kind of have to worry about what you're doing, right?
Yeah, just keep throwing the same ball that you're throwing because it's working for you. And eventually, you know, they'll just get the marks will come, the pins will add up, and you just hope it's enough to beat them.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row. I should also mention that you earned $225 in bonus money today, and you could very easily, as Tom said, have also had several strikes in a row there at the end of the second game.
Yeah, it's through, what, 1, then a 9-pin drop, then 1, and then 9 pin. You never know.
Well, now those are all done with, and that's 2 in a row, and Gary Carrington next week, and we're looking forward to another good one. We'll see you then.
All right.
All right. John Plante with 2 in a row. Congratulations. And here it is for next week as we take another look at the ladder for this Tournament of Champions. It has been a great one so far. We have seen 2 terrific matches, and may go a long time before we see another one as great as this one with all the twists and turns and the big game, the 191 for Tom Morgan. But John Plante, the number 6 seed, advances, and next week he will take on Gary Carrington, our number 3 seed, looking for his 3rd win in a row.
It doesn't get any easier, you know, and I'd just like to say, Tom, he's one of the few bowlers that I know that a little adversity today, but he handles like a class guy, and he said that's why they come back, and he's to be applauded for that.
Well, that's why we come back, too, and we hope you'll be back next weekend. We're planning another big weekend here next weekend on the Winds, by the way. Don't forget, Saturday at noon from the Londonderry Bowling Center, we will have the women's semifinal match of the New Hampshire State Candlepin Championship. And then, of course, next Sunday, right back here at Park Place Lanes for Match 3 of the Tournament of Champions, featuring John Plante against Gary Carrington. Until next weekend, for Dan Murphy and the whole Winds of New England crew, I'm Doug Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Have a great week.
Tonight on WNDS, join millions of your fellow fans and watch the winsome Ms. White turn those tiles on Wheel of Fortune. That's tonight at 6, and at 6:30, Alex Trebek teases your intellect on the game with all the right questions. Wheel at 6, Jeopardy at 6:30. That's tonight on WNDS. This is WNDS, and the fun starts here. Coming up next, it's the Sunday double feature on Movie Watch. That's right, 2 movies for a whole afternoon of fun.